we were expecting more of like how Obi-Wan kind of sticks around with Luke, but you kind of leave Luke to the side and go off and help Leia on this journey.
Yeah, no, it was going to be a story about me and Luke. Yeah, it was always going to be that.
He belongs to someone called Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought he might have meant old Ben. You know him?
Well, of course I know him. He's me.
I want to come with you to Alderaan. There's nothing for me here now.
Your destiny lies along a different path from mine. The Force will be with you, always.
Yeah, no, it was going to be a story about me and Luke. Yeah, it was always going to be that. And that was one of the genius moments where everyone went, wait a minute, and then changed it.
Yes, we are continuing on this wonderful journey to try and ascertain what drugs these incredible writers are on. And where can I get some? I originally voted for crack.
Glime from Blugs.
But one lovely viewer suggested acid. I think they might be onto something, as this show was one real bad trip.
Man, I was tripping balls pretty hard, man. So I decided to get on my bench grinder, and a piece of metal flew up and hit me right in the eye.
Now, I know you probably don't want to revisit the nightmare, but in the quest for answers, I need you to take your mind back to the episode before this one, where we saw the greatest escape of all time from Fortress Inquisitorius. That name is so much fun to say, yet it's so ridiculous on the ears. Remember back to that episode? When everyone didn't bother chasing down Obi-Wan because Reva had put a tracker on the ship, even though no one else knew that, because Reva wanted to expose the route the Jedi were using to escape? The pathway?
Some call it the path.
Pity no one else knew about that plan, but anyway, how does that fit in with the writers wanting us to feel sorry for the little youngling who blames Obi-Wan and Vader for all her friends' deaths? Apparently, no one even believed the path existed.
Bunch of talk of a secret network, a path. We thought it was a lie.
Now, if she found proof of the escape route the Jedi had been using to get to freedom and didn't share it with Vader, we might have slightly believed she was some type of double agent. Could have made for an interesting story. But as we know, the writers are complete morons and don't know how to write an interesting story.
Soon the location of the network and Kenobi will be ours.
Man, I thought Finn was a bit of a bastard cheering when he was blowing up his friends. At least he was trying to get away. Reva, she's just decided to finish what Anakin started, and we're meant to have some sympathy for her.
Why would I ever trust you?
That's what modern writers call a twist. Just have a character act in ways that go against everything we've seen up to that point.
I tried to help them, but I couldn't. They were the only family I knew.
The crazy thing with this show is usually when they do a blind flip of a character that makes no sense, the character usually stays with the flip, like when they tried to tell us that Hux was a spy.
I'm the spy.
What? You? I knew it.
No, you did not.
After he had literally led the way to slaughtering millions of people, and he'd spent 2 films fighting Kylo for power, well, in one flip of the script, he was turned into a snivelling loser, and he stuck with that snivelling loser personality for the rest of the film. I mean, it was only for another couple of minutes, but at least he tried. Reva, God, I'm getting sick of saying that name, Shouty McShout turned straight back to her child killer ways 2 seconds after having flashbacks about her friends.
And he slaughtered them.
Into the breach!
Ah yes, don't keep Obi-Wan out here with you. March him back inside so he can magically get away again, off screen. It is hard to believe they went to all the trouble of getting Hayden back with Ewan, and then they just repeated scenes we'd already seen, but done much better. The show could have them off on some crazy adventure where we learn more about their bond, a bond we were told about in the prequels, but never really shown.
I haven't felt you this tense since we fell into that nest of gundogs.
You fell into that nightmare, Master, and I rescued you, remember?
But instead we get a crappy de-aged green screen training clip where Anakin, who looks way too old, just comes across like a whiny prick again, like he did in the prequels. It was your big chance to improve the prequels, Disney, and you blew it. And can someone explain to me why they made their digital life harder by going back to teenage ponytail Anakin instead of long-haired older Anakin? What am I thinking? The new creators probably had to Google Anakin in the prequels, and the first image that came up was from Attack of the Clones. Oh, look at that lovely, fresh-faced young teenager.
It's over.
A quick interlude to tell you about this video's fantastic sponsor, Established Titles. Have you ever wanted to stand out from the crowd, command more respect, and have a title that's more fitting to your awesomeness? With established titles, you can buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Eddleston, Scotland, which then grants you the title of Lord or Lady. Hence, from this day forth, I am officially known as Lord Robothead. You even receive an official certificate that not only has this awesome crest, it also has a unique plot number so you can see the exact location of your land. And this ain't no make-believe title, you can officially change your name to Lord or Lady on your credit cards, plane tickets, even on your dating profiles. And not only will you become more desirable to potential bedroom partners, you will also be helping the planet, because with every order, established titles will plant a magnificent tree. These do-gooders work with the global charities One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. You can purchase lordship packs, ladyship packs, as well as couples packs that come with adjoining blocks of land. Established Titles is running a massive early Black Friday sale right now, so it's the perfect time for an amazing last minute gift. Plus, if you use the code ROBOTHEAD, you get an additional 10% off. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my land. We can build our own little Robothead kingdom.
To the laird! To the laird!
Go to establishedtitles.com/robothead to get your gifts, and you'll also be supporting the channel.
Good night, ladies.
Hold the phone.
Who's gay?
I do know why they made their life harder by going back to teenage Anakin, and it pretty much sums up the clown show that is Lucasfilm, and how they just run with any idea, no matter how much it flies in the face of the original movies, because who cares about them?
When I left you, I was but a learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, God.
You see, the Lucasfilm story group, or what's left of it, don't have one original or interesting idea between them. And if you need proof of this, refer to the ideas board that includes gems like feelings, surprise, actual endings, droids, complicated monsters, diversity again, and dinosaurs. Ah, classic dinosaur Star Wars. I miss it.
The Triceratops, a horned dinosaur in battle with the savage Ceratosaurus.
This has been a very free environment for everybody to just throw things out there.
No, this is not a short course for middle-aged women who have done nothing with their lives. This is the actual ideas board, straight from the Lucasfilm writers' room.
A really unique writers' room where we had diverse voices with very different opinions about Star Wars.
These people took over from George Lucas. Oh my God, George, what did you do?
I sold them to the white slavers. Okay, but I mean...
Anyway, somewhere along the way, the LF clowns came up with the Reaver-obsessed with Kenobi gem of an idea. But even the clowns understood that their story was a clown recital that didn't fit with the adult Anakin we'd seen in Revenge of the Sith. So instead of doing the obvious choice and changing their story, they decided to change George's story and remove adult Anakin and replace him with, under Obi-Wan's care, teenage Anakin. That's why we get Attack of the Clones Anakin in the training scenes and at the temple scenes. Fucking amazing. The writers' egos are so out of control that they would rather rewrite George's work than admit their ideas suck camel's balls. Disney really hates George Lucas.
I'm a small part of a very big team, and we inherited some wonderful ideas from previous incarnations of the project and did what we could to carry them forward and bring the whole thing to fruition. But it was, as I said, it was a real group effort. It takes a village.
And we must applaud Disney for their respect for women. They love women so much that they have them constantly screaming like lunatics. How come they don't make the men scream all the time? I'm just saying, ladies, Disney isn't doing you any favours. You know why Vader didn't stop that second ship, don't you? Well, it's because the people making this garbage think the Force is like a superpower that comes out of the Force user's hands. That's why we get the stupid hand actions for every movement. Now, before you go off, this is dramatic license to convey feeling, as well as helping the audience understand what's going on. The whole original message that the writers would know if they'd watched Empire Strikes Back was that size doesn't matter. This is more like a Street Fighter combination hand jive.
You win.
And of course, they're just allowed to fly away again, like what happens every week in this show. You see, what should happen every time someone just tries to fly away like this is that some ships should be sent after them. Why wouldn't Vader have his ship just cut him off as they entered space? Or send 100 TIE fighters after him to blow him out of existence? Man, a huge chunk of Empire Strikes Back dealt with the Millennium Falcon getting pursued after escaping from Hoth. And that was the Millennium Falcon. One of the fastest ships in the galaxy was hunted so fiercely that in the end they had to find somewhere to hide. But no, none of that here. For some bizarre reason that only the writers would understand, Vader, after missing his opportunity to stop the ship, just lets the school bus ship fly past his Star Destroyer full of TIE fighters. It's quite amazing the amount of technology and opportunities these characters have to ignore just to try and get this story to work. Oh, if only we could get Hollywood to just stop horror and hacks. Wouldn't have to worry about all this shit. Then again, I'd be out of a job.
Ewan and Hayden. You know, you can't be a Star Wars fan and not want to see that again. I mean, it's incredible. I get goosebumps seeing like the posters. I'm like, yes, let's go.
Reva has a lightsaber run through her, but as we know, lightsabers now have the power and threat of a garden hose, so we know she'll be fine. But what do we have here? More people surviving death to insert some bullshit twist? And Vader knew all along about Reva's double cross?
Did you really believe I did not see it, youngling?
How does this fit into Vader's plan? Man, this writing is gold. Did he have the real Grand Inquisitor hide on his ship while he promoted Reva, just so they could have some weird gotcha moment later on? Surely when they got together, the Grand Inquisitor mentioned Reva stabbing him?
What? She fucking stabbed you?
Yeah.
That's it. She's fucked. So what we're going to do is hide you and let her think that she's been promoted to your job.
I don't understand.
And then when she tries to kill me, you can pop out and whammo, she's going to look like such a goose.
Why don't we just kill her and...
Trust me, it'll make sense at the time. It'll be hilarious.
Did you really believe I did not see it?
In your face, biatch. Wow. I've got to get me one of those Jerry Springer shows. I'd have so much fun doing that every day.
Question for the cowboy, like dudes.
See, the writers have already forgotten that Vader knew Obi-Wan's location, and now we know he knew that Reva was out to kill him. What was the purpose of sending Reva down to confront Obi-Wan when he could have just sent the real Grand Inquisitor, who would have done a better job? Why wouldn't Vader just kill her? He's killed other people for less.
You are in command now, Admiral Piet.
Thank you, Lord Vader.
Doesn't seem very Vader-like to let her live. It's as if Disney doesn't understand.
Lightsabers.
Holy shit. It's odd that we see so much lightsaber stabby action these days. Lethal carving and cutting used to be the only way. And the one time we did see someone stabbed, they had the good sense to die. Now, all we get is stabbing. I guess it's probably a bit hard to keep bringing people back from the dead if their guts are all over the floor or their head is missing. So I can't wait for next episode because it will be the end of this
Oops. Winning.
So I can't wait for the next episode where all these loose ends are going to be brought together and make this wonderful journey worth it.
We cannot prioritize one lone Jedi.
He is not just any Jedi.
I don't understand.